Welcome to the Courtroom Chronicles. This channel is dedicated to educational content based on real-life cases and true events. This content shared here is drawn directly from the actual case file, and no names, places, or items have been changed. However, the content has been carefully summarized and presented for educational purposes in a comprehension format to inform, enlighten, and spark meaningful discussions. Whether you're here to learn, reflect, or simply understand the real-world scenarios better, you're in the right place. We believe in the power of truthful storytelling to educate and inspire. Disclaimer: while all stories are based on real cases, they are presented in a condensed and structured format for clarity and learning. Viewer discretion is advised where necessary. This case is cited from the Nigerian High Court online file, which is public record. This is a case between Alhaji Yusuf Garba Balewa v. ITN Hydromak Limited and Ojo Olukayode. Judgment date 12th of March 2021. High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Presiding Judge Honor Justice Olukayode. This case revolved around an attempt by the claimant, Alhaji Yusuf Garba Balewa, to set aside a judgment previously delivered in suit number CV 8007-2012. In that original suit, the first defendant, ITN Hydromak Limited, secured a judgment of 105,000 tons against the claimant. The claimant then instituted this fresh action in 2017, alleging that the prior judgment was obtained without his knowledge and tainted by fraud. Arguing that he never authorized any lawyer, specifically the second defendant, Ojo Olukayode, to represent him in the matter. Balewa also claimed damages of $10 million against the defendants and sought for the original judgment to be nullified. The core issues for determination were whether the 2014 judgment in CV 807-2012 was a nullity and should be set aside, whether the second defendant's counterclaim was valid. After considering testimonies from both sides, the court ruled as follows. The evidence showed that Balewa was aware of the original proceedings. His friend, Aminu Abdullahi, had introduced him to Victor Elisa Esquer, who in turn connected him with the second defendant. Court documents showed Balewa's passport photos and signatures on affidavits filed in his name, and the court confirmed that he had attended to sign them before the Commissioner for Oaths. The judge found Balewa to be an unreliable and dishonest witness, citing contradictions in his testimony and an earlier affidavit, Exhibit C-22, where he admitted negotiating with ITN Hydromak Limited after judgment was delivered. The court rejected claims of fraud or irregular procedure in the original judgment and held that the proceedings were lawful and properly served. Regarding the second defendant's counterclaim for damages and unpaid legal fees, the court also dismissed this, ruling that although the claimant had agreed to pay $2 million in legal fees and deposited $150,000, the second defendant failed to adequately communicate his withdrawal from the case and thus could not justifiably claim the balance. Final judgment. The claimant's case was dismissed in its entirety. The second defendant's counterclaim was also dismissed. No order as to costs was made. Who won and why the defendants, especially the first defendant, effectively won the case. The court upheld the original judgment in favor of ITN Hydromak Limited and rejected Balewa's claim that the proceedings were tainted by fraud or conducted in his absence. The claimant lost because his credibility was severely undermined by inconsistencies in his affidavits and oral testimonies. He falsely claimed he had no knowledge of the suit, yet his own affidavit, Exhibit C-22, acknowledged post-judgment negotiations. The court found that he had in fact engaged legal representation through intermediaries, and court processes bore his passport and signature. The second defendant also lost his counterclaim primarily because, although he provided legal services and was partially paid, he failed to inform the claimant properly of his withdrawal from the case, which undermined his right to demand full payment. Legal analysis and how the dispute could have been avoided. This dispute could have been entirely avoided through clear and documented legal engagement. If the claimant had executed a formal retainer agreement with the second defendant or his firm, it would have left no room for dispute about legal representation. Diligence by the claimant. Balewa failed to monitor a significant lawsuit against him. His claim of ignorance was unsupported and eventually discredited. Active participation and inquiry into ongoing legal matters would have helped him. Better communication by counsel. The second defendant failed to inform the court, and the claimant effectively after withdrawing from the original matter. A formal affidavit indicating attempts to contact the client would have shielded him from criticism and possibly upheld his counterclaim. Early appeal. Rather than initiating a new suit to set aside the judgment, the claimant could have filed a timely appeal, which is the more appropriate remedy in cases of perceived miscarriage of justice. In summary, this judgment reinforces the importance of proper legal documentation, credibility of witness testimony, and ethical conduct by counsel in litigation. Thanks so much for watching, fam. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below, and let me know what you think about the case. I love hearing your thoughts and feedback. And hey, if you felt a connection or learned something new, give this video a like and share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Until next time, stay safe, stay real, and I'll catch you in the next one.